never, ever dreamed of going for. A little old gal out of southwest Georgia who had never been on an airplane until she was 27 years of age. You know, to experience that, folks, I liked it. I wanted to do it again, you know. I said, this is absolutely wonderful. And we would sit around some of those convention banquet tables, and we would be able to talk to men who had built companies, who owned companies and ran companies. And you know, you have a tendency to put them on a pedestal, right? And you think, man, they're just untouchable. I can't relate to those kind of people. And I would get to chat with them one-on-one, and I'd listen to them for a few minutes, and I'd say, dadgummit, Art's as good as they are. You know, he could be the president of a company one day, you know. And to be able to put that money aside and to have 20 or 30 or $40,000 or $50,000 in cash sitting over here in an account somewhere that you know you can get your hands on tomorrow, you know, and to be able to continue to pay your bills and save money. Folks, it lets you see yourself a little bit differently. You begin to dream a little bit differently. You begin to take a few chances maybe that you couldn't take in the past, and it just absolutely changed our life. What's the dream? Well, the dream, of course, is to be financially independent. I think that's the dream that all of you have, not to be under the gun as far as money's concerned. And I want you to know it is absolutely wonderful. I don't even have to worry whether my checking account ever balances again. No more trips to the S&L, you know, to pick out that money to cover these checks that are going to bounce. It's absolutely fantastic. To think that Art Williams is where he is today in business, and I've been able to be a part of that and experience some of that with him. I swear I'm so proud of that man, I can't even tell you how much I love him, and how proud I am of what he's achieved. To think that this has happened in our life. What's the dream? Well, I think the dream is to have a few of the finer things in life, unless you're trying to fool yourself and some people around you and pretend to be something maybe that you're not. I think there's not a single person in this room that if they were honest with themselves and everybody that they know, they would have to say, you know, I really have this dream. Maybe it's just getting your wife, purchasing a pair of pearls for your wife that you couldn't afford when you married, you know. Norma Humphrey said she used to sit back in church and at the airports, and she would watch these women parade by in their full-length mink coats and their big diamond rings. You've seen them. You've seen them? You haven't seen them? You've seen them. And she would say, how gaudy. You know, just how, you know, how tacky, you know, how gaudy. She says, I love gaudy now. I think it... Maybe that's not your dream. Maybe your dream is to have a beautiful home. Maybe you know exactly what you'd like to have someday. I used to sit and look at these books of house plans. Any of you ever ordered off of books of house plans? Come on, raise your hand, be honest. Hold them up. I want everybody to see the idiots in the room. I used to order off and look at these books, you know, this book of house plans, and I would plan our home, our dream home. Maybe when we were 50 years old, folks, we have our dream home. It's absolutely unbelievable. Some 6, 7 years ago, we went an hour out from Atlanta in a small community, and we found an antebellum home on 7 acres of land, and we bought that home, and we've been, for the last 4 or 5 years, we've been renovating it and landscaping the yards, and it's just absolutely a dream for us to have that, because we dreamed about that 10 years ago. We would ride by them and say, man, would it be wonderful to have one of those? And we have that today. And this has happened to so many other people in this company. These kinds of dreams have come true. Mike and Stephanie Tuttle, who are national sales directors today, they live in Dallas, Texas. And about a year ago, we were in that area, and they were working on their dream home. And we were having a meeting with some of the wives in a small room, a sort of a get-acquainted meeting. And we came to Stephanie, and one of the ladies said, Stephanie, tell us about the home. And she said, well, it won't be finished till spring, you know, and we're excited about it. You know, it's going to be fabulous. That was not what they wanted to hear. Another one said, tell us about the 10,000 square feet. And she says, well, it got a little bit bigger than we thought. You know, we've never built a house before, and we were just thinking about our future needs and more children and all of this. And someone else said, I know what let's do. We've got 2 vans sitting out in the parking lot. Let's just go see the house. You know, that sounded like a neat idea. They didn't care anymore about finishing the meeting. They didn't care anything about meeting the person next to them or hearing their life story or why they loved A.L. Williams or hated A.L. Williams or anything like that. They just wanted to see that house. And we ran and got in that van, those vans, and we drove 6 miles out from Dallas, and we saw the most fantastic home. It was absolutely unbelievable, folks. I don't even know whether I can describe it to you, but there was a huge porch across the front, bigger than anything you've ever seen on television, on Dallas, any of those big shows, you know. And there were sets of French doors going in, one into the breakfast room, one into the kitchen, one into the dining room, one into the two-story foyer with a circular staircase, one into Mike's own private study office at home with walnut paneled walls, fireplace, the whole thing. One whole wing of the house was a master suite, a master bedroom suite. The walk-in closet was half the size of this room. You know, it was just absolutely unbelievable. Upstairs, they had 5 bedrooms, each with its own private bath, a 3-car garage, a drive-through porte-cochere. There was a cathedral ceiling with windows all around, stone and glass, all around for the major living room. And of course, the den was maybe a time, you know, and a half that large again. And I looked at that thing, well, it looked like a cathedral. I said, this is absolutely unbelievable. I went back to the hotel and I told Art, I said, Art, I've got to talk to you. But to know that this has come true to this couple, a young couple in A.L. Williams, and they came into A.L. Williams right out of Campus Crusade for Christ. And their dream, when they were a young married couple, was to save enough money to go down and to rent a television set to bring home and have entertainment in their home on the weekend. That was how little they lived on. And to think, because of this opportunity, they've been able to achieve this kind of dream in life. And to know them as people, they are so humble about this. They really and truly are. They're the kind of people that bring families that are in their organization, bring them in to live with them if they're going through personal problems or financial problems. And they love their people so and give so much of themselves to their people. And this kind of reward has come this way, come their way. It's absolutely a dream come true. What's the dream? Well, I think the dream is, one dream for us is to keep your family close around. I look at Ron Truelove. They're working on number 5, if you can believe it, you know. And I know that you have families out there and you have children. And wouldn't it be great to be able to let them participate, you know, after age 18 or 20 when they usually grow up and leave home, to be able to keep them close around? Wouldn't that be good, Keith? It'd be fantastic, you know. We have a 23-year-old and a 20-year-old. And you know, if it was up to us, they'd stay in their upstairs bedroom for the rest of their life. I mean, really, nothing would make us happier. Well, we know they've got to mature and live their own life, but to think that we can help them get started in business, or they can be part of this business in the home office or in sales, that's a dream come true. And we have whole families in A.L. Williams, fathers and sons and daughters and brothers and sisters and you know, relatives near and far that are part of this organization. And our meetings become family reunions for some of these people. And it's absolutely wonderful. We had a chance about a year ago to buy this little house in our neighborhood. We had been looking at it. And we said, man, wouldn't it be wonderful to fix that house up, and it could be a guest house, and it could serve for our A.L. Williams family when they come to visit, or it could be for my parents who are around 70 years of age. They're retired now, and we know that we want to keep them close around as well. Or it could be for our children when they grow up, you know, get married, start their family. They could start off their life right over there in that little house. Well, our son's married now. He's been married for about 3 years. He and his wife are students at the University of Georgia. And he's part-time in sales too, by the way, and also works on a little farm that's in our county. And it's kind of dabbling in several things. But they presented us a year ago with the most beautiful granddaughter you'll ever see. And if you don't think it's the dream, some other grandparents I see in the room, if you don't think it's the dream, I can walk out of my back door anytime I want to and go over and rock that grandbaby. I've got a tricycle path made out to my back door. That's the dream for us. What's the dream? Well, you know, I think one dream in life is to be able to handle emergencies. They're going to come your way, no matter how fortunate you've been. There are going to be things in your life come unexpectedly. We had something happen in my family about a year ago. My dad was admitted into Emory University Hospital in Atlanta, Georgia to undergo emergency surgery. He's a heart patient. He's had 2 heart attacks. And at that age, not knowing what the doctors were going to find, folks, we were scared. We really and truly were. And after surgery, his heart began to beat irregularly. He looked like he was going into a third heart attack, and they were afraid he might not pull through, and he had to spend several days, almost a week, in intensive care. It was wonderful to be able to take my mom down there and stay by that hospital in a hotel, not worry about the bills, be able to eat every meal out, not worry about things being taken care of at home, but to concentrate on that problem and know that we had the financial resources to take care of whatever need he had. Folks, it was absolutely wonderful when I could turn to my father, when he looked across the bed at me one night. The doctors had come back in and said, "Dr. Hancock, we didn't tell you this until you were stabilized, but we found an enlarged kidney. It could mean nothing, or you could have a tumor." And my dad, he's a tough man. He has lived with life and death. He's seen it and witnessed it firsthand all of his professional life. And he's been a strong leader for his family. But over the last few years, he sort of leaned on me, the oldest child, to help him get through some tough times and help him with decisions. And I'll never forget how helpless he looked when he looked at me across that bed and said, "Angela, what in the world am I going to do if they come back in here tomorrow and tell me I have cancer?" I said, "Dad, don't you worry. I'll have you on the next plane tomorrow, and I'll take you to W.D. Anderson. I'll take you to Sloan Kettering. I'll take you wherever in the world you need to be to get the best treatment we can afford." And folks, I didn't even have to blink an eye. I didn't have to go get on the phone and talk to Art. I knew that we could do it if the need arose. And it's wonderful. My dad, next to my husband and my children, my dad and my mom are the most important people in my life. They spent their whole life working to give their family a better life, and they were great parents. And to be able to know that I, in their later years, can give some things to them and help them, that's absolutely a dream come true. What's the dream? Well, you know, I think the dream is to have a perfect family and a perfect marriage. And we have a perfect marriage. Well, I fooled half of you. I got an applause on that. I fooled at least 50% of you, didn't I? We don't have a perfect marriage. There's no such thing in this life. But we have as close to a perfect marriage as you can have. We have our normal fusses. We don't say yes, dear, no, dear, and I love you, dear, every minute of our waking life, you know. We have our fusses and our fights and our knockdown dragouts, if you want to call them that. We're both strong-willed and temperamental and stubborn and hard-headed, and we can probably match any of you out there. But that doesn't change the fact that we are committed to one another, that we love one another, and there's nothing in our lives more important than the relationship we have with one another, unless it's with our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. I want you to know that I used to sit... I want you to know I used to sit back some 20 years ago and I'd see a famous person or a wealthy person, successful person, you know, on the television screen, or you'd read about them in the newspaper, and I'd say, "Yeah, but I bet he's a carouser. She's probably an alcoholic. And the kids are probably on drugs, right? But we've got a good family," you know, and that's what's important, right? Well, folks, you can have a good family, and you can have money, and you can have success, and you can have responsibility too. It depends on you, if that's what you want. And I'm just so proud and so grateful that our success and our money has never come before our marriage and our family. You know, I think we've gone through several stages in our growth. We saw the potential. We believed in the opportunity, and we worked hard to achieve some of these goals that we had set for ourselves in life. And then when we had some money, we began checking off some of those wants and some of those desires, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then we've, I think, come to another phase, and I'm so grateful that now we see that God has blessed us so, our lives are so rich, that we can see that we can make a tremendous contribution back to some things that mean a lot to us. I don't know what it's going to be. We're making a few contributions now in ways that are meaningful to us. I don't know what it's going to be. We've got leaders in this company. I know their character, and I know the people, and I know that they're going to make an impact in this world, in their churches, in their communities, and in places that are going to change society. And I am so dadgum proud of that, I can't begin to tell you. That's a dream to even think about doing those kinds of things in a lifetime. We are going to be able to do that. Some of you are going to be able to do that. That's a dream come true. I just want to close by saying this. We wouldn't be where we are. I don't take credit for Art's success. We wouldn't be where we are. Art wouldn't be where he is, and I know he'd be the first to admit this, without the wonderful people that have believed in us and supported us along the way and been part of this team effort. This is a team effort. It really and truly is. This is not a one-man show. It's not going to be a one-man show for you. It's a team effort. To have those people that you surround yourself with, that love you and believe in you and follow you and work together as a team. And God's helped us along the way too, because I want you to know those deep, dark times in life when we didn't think we had the answers, He just opened the door for us. He gave us a person. He sent an opportunity. We didn't see it and understand it fully when we were going through it. But in retrospect, it just seems so clear now. We weren't smart enough to figure this thing out. No one person could do that. And we're so grateful for the courage that He's given us and the strength that He's given us when we needed that strength and help. Folks, I want you to know that the dreams that you dream, the things that you're willing to go out and work to achieve, can come true for you in this company. God bless you. You've been a wonderful group.